Welcome to Protect and Grow with Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns of Tj Stearns Incorporated. Trust, respect, and results. Tj Stearns Incorporated focuses on comprehensive financial planning and benefits.
And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planning professional, Tim Stearns, CFP, founder and president at Tj Stearns Inc., Chicagoland's resource for a common sense approach to planning, proactive savers and investors, your resource for individualized planning guidance. If you have questions about your investments, your retirement accounts, your financial and retirement progress, pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, the big news, we are still uncovering and weeding through everything to do with the Secure Act 2.0. And in fact, many cases, we find that people are still unaware of Secure Act 1.0. So if you would break it down for us, what all do we need to know about the Secure Act? Loaded question, because there's probably not enough time to get through the several thousands of pages of what is all included here.
Right. So, I mean, basically, let's go back. So in December 2019, they passed the Secure Act. And it's bipartisan. So it's not just, you can't blame one party or the other. But anyway, they passed this where they said, okay, you don't have to take any money out until you're age 72. So moving it from 70 and a half years old to age 72. That was a Secure Act. Then they also said in that act, you would not have the stretch IRAs anymore, meaning that if someone passes away, you have to drain their account within 10 years, regardless of who you are, except for a spouse, right? And there's some other nitty gritty in there, but basically that's the gist of it. Well, now the new one is the Secure Act 2.0. They're actually going to move the required minimum distributions back to age 75 eventually. For the next year, it's 73, then it goes to age 75. So that's one thing. They also increased the catch-up limits for IRAs. So I'll quote one of the professors I had at DePaul when I was getting my certified financial planning degree. Basically, he said, Tim, if they gave you something in your right pocket, which would be the age 75, I don't have to take my money out until then, they're taking something from your other pocket, right? So basically what they're doing, and a lot of people have said this, is that they're increasing the tax bill by giving us longer to have the money in there, right? Because what is going to happen is, hopefully the market goes back up, right? And we're seeing these big, your biggest asset for most Americans nowadays, besides your house, are your 401ks. So the required minimum distributions comes from all qualified monies, which are IRAs or 401ks. And for that being said, they're going to have the ability to tax us more. So these are things that we need to be cognizant of, going forward with the Secure Act 2.0.
Albert Einstein at one point in time is quoted as saying that compounding interest was the eighth wonder of the world and the most powerful force on the planet. And I feel like the IRS maybe was the only one listening and paying attention to that message, but they're showing, displaying their understanding of it with tax deferral, aren't they?
I agree. I mean, so you have that. So that being said, we still have the next 3 years for the ability to do some Roth conversions at the current tax rates. So, I'm not saying that we're taking our lemons and making lemonade, but we are getting an opportunity here to maybe look into starting to mitigate some of these taxes that are coming down the pipeline in 2025, after 2025, when the tax bill expires. I don't think I see it happening before then, just because of what's going on in Congress. They have other bigger fish to fry, as they say. But I do see them having the ability to, it'll expire, and then the old tax rates would come back. So, that's going to be a higher tax brackets, because we've spent a lot of money as a government, and now they have to, pay for it. And those are the things that we're keeping an eye on for people and telling them, hey, if your advisor has not talked to you about Roth conversion opportunities, now's the time. And with us having a CPA on staff here, it makes it real easy to quantify what that looks like and, what we could do to do it now.
You mispronounced they. You said we have spent it as a government, have spent a lot of money. It's really True. They have spent a lot of money up there, Tim. I don't profess to have any kind of control over what they want to buy and purchase up in Washington. And this omnibus spending bill basically granted their wishes of everything that they wanted. $1.7 trillion in spending that was part and parcel, and simply included the Secure Act 2.0 as part of it. And so they got their wish list there. Most of us as Americans, as citizens, as income earners and taxpayers, don't get that same kind of ability to just keep spending and increasing our debt limit or whatever. And so saving and investing does become not only a priority, but a necessity. And Tim, this past year, 2022, has been a rather rough year for savers and investors. In 2023, you have given us the outlook that it may not get any easier here, or at least will still include some challenges. So do we need to make paying off our debts a priority to make financial progress into the year ahead?
Peter, we're seeing housing slowing down, people buying houses, people overpaying for houses slowing down. So yes, we need to look at that because interest rates did go up, and that's great for if you're a saver, but if you're a borrower, like we have seen in the NASDAQ, right? The NASDAQ has gotten hit the worst because a lot of those companies, for their research and development, they're borrowing money, right? So, but to put on a granular scale for us, credit card rates are going up, mortgage rates went up. So yes, if you do have debt out there, I'd make a conscientious effort to pay off your debts because, you're not going to make 19%, let's say is your credit card interest rate. You're not going to make 19%, I don't think, in this market this year. Let's be real.
Those things that you bought for Christmas or even the Thanksgiving dinner may have just gotten more expensive with the interest rates rising on a lot of credit card day-to-day purchases. And certainly if you're financing anything, you're feeling the effects of that. So yeah, Tim, that's why I bring it up. Paying off debt might be one of our best investments in 2023.
That's a great point, Peter, because again, I'm not going to be able to tell somebody, yeah, I think we can do what we did in 2021, where we made upwards of 20%, So if you have credit cards out there or you put something on layaway or whatever you want to call it, these are definitely the times that you want to start smacking that money down on that to pay down that debt. Especially if you are, looking at retirement down the road, get your house in order and pay down these debts that have accumulated. A lot of times we'll have people come in here that have credit card debt, but they have savings. And I try to explain to them. And so we'll run literally a exercise for them to show them, hey, you're paying on you're not paying off the credit card, but you're not really making anything up in savings. So let's pay off the credit card. Mm-hmm. So the different things like that. And I think it helps to have someone as a, I wouldn't climb Mount Everest without my Sherpa, right? And I definitely wouldn't try to come down the mountain. So sometimes we help people with, when they have debt, we'll figure out how the best way to get down the mountain of debt that they have. These are things that we've helped people for years. We don't make any money off of it, but it's things that, pay it forward type of situation where if you can help people with your knowledge, it makes the world a better place.
Yeah, Tim, there are people out there, even with $1 million plus retirement assets or net worth, that have simply had some little pieces here and there that could easily be improved as well. Like you said, maybe money in the bank and savings, and then a credit card that's carried over a balance that's
right
at a significantly higher interest rate this year than it was maybe a year or two ago, unfortunately. But it also emphasizes the fact, Tim, that we need to make as much progress as we can, when we can, where we can, and take advantage of every opportunity. You mentioned it. One of the biggest opportunities that we have and that we do take advantage of is our 401ks, but a lot of people, unfortunately, also making some missteps with their 401k. And those are things that you help them spot and identify and correct.
We have a lot of people come in here who will show us their 401k, and after last year, they got hit pretty hard because they had too much in stocks, or they'll have a target date fund, but they don't have, and then they have other ones onto the side, and they don't realize that within that target date is some of those funds as well. So they'll have redundant overabundance of the same fund. So, having your 401k analyzed, we do that for people all the time. We're happy to show them maybe a better way, show them what their risk is, because the risk reward last year, it wasn't there, right? There was no reward, a zero sum game. So these are things that, people need to look at their 401ks. I don't care what age you are. It stinks to lose money. So why not be smarter when you're picking your funds and that type of thing, and ask someone, give you a hand besides the guy that you think is, or the lady that's the smartest person in your company picking funds for people. I see that time and time again. And a lot of times in an up market, that's fine. But in a down market, that person gets pretty quiet in the lunchroom.
Yep.
So come see a professional, certified financial planner professional that can help you.
Well, there are typically a lot of choices and a lot of questions with the 401k, and no pressure. This only determines our financial future in many cases. And a lot of times they're on the job, not a lot of great resources to help answer those concerns or those questions or weigh the options in them. So, Tim, what we've seen is we need to save more. Things are more expensive into the future. We need to do all that we can. And there are some opportunities, contribution limits being increased. Part of the agenda for 2023, we do have the ability to save more. Now it's on our shoulders to actually take advantage of that, but probably something we absolutely should consider, correct?
It's always a good time to save money, especially if you're getting a match from your company. That is the time to do it, just to put some money aside for the rainy day. A lot of times people don't know what they're going to need in retirement because they haven't done a plan. Well, then even more so, put money away, get up to that match at least.
Now, Tim, the emotional investor, due to the volatility that we saw in 2022 and the outlook for uncertainty in 2023, I have heard personally people say, I pulled way back on my 401k contributions. I stopped making contributions to my 401k. That's probably not recommended if we are still in our savings and accumulation years. And if we're closing in on our retirement years. You spoke in the last edition of the program about a very different opportunity to take more control over our money at age 59 and a half.
Right. So the 59 and a half that we talked about last week is simply this. If you're over 59 and a half years old in the United States, most companies, not all, but about 90% plus, will allow you to take your money out and do an in-service distribution to put it into an IRA of your choosing, right? And you could do it yourself, or you could put it into with an advisor. At the end of the day, that money stays deferred, right? Because you were moving it to an IRA. We also have the money being matched still within your 401k by your company. But the bottom line is you're staying the course. It's just you're taking a little more control of your own IRA money now and making sure that you're opening it up to an abundance of options that you can do with your money. Having stop losses, having institutional investors managing your money, not the run-of-the-mill mutual funds. Mutual funds they serve a purpose. But at some point, you need to have more dynamic, challenging managers for these times that are just going to be very hodgepodge of going up, down, sideways for a while. We need to be really smart with where our money is allocated.
Again, if you would like to get your Protect and Grow plan together, your written retirement income allocation plan, the proprietary planning process, there at Tj Stearns, Inc., with the help of a certified financial planning professional, Tim Stearns, CFP, your resource. Pick up the phone, ladies and gentlemen. Give a call for that complimentary review, planning, analysis, the forensic financial analysis of your situation, and then the design and construction of a specific plan to help you achieve your goals, to show you the order of operations on how and when and where to utilize certain accounts, both in accumulation, preservation, and even in the decumulation, creating the retirement income, how to create effective, dependable withdrawals from your savings and investments. Pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. That is the Protect and Grow written retirement income plan, available only there at TJ Stearns Inc. 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, one of the benefits of the 401k is that it's automatic, right? It's out of sight, out of mind. We don't have to do a lot of thinking about it. In fact, heck, we don't even really need to work that hard to save the money. Once the money comes home, sometimes it's hard to get saved, but the 401k, the beauty is that it happens automatically. Unfortunately, sometimes it's so automatic, out of sight, out of mind, that we forget about those accounts, and we forget to do the important routine maintenance to take a look at them, to rebalance them, or even to take them with us when we leave a company. A lot of people have orphaned old 401ks out there that probably not the optimal place to keep them.
Not only that, but if your money is out there, you're paying fees on it. Different companies do have fees, and you can be with whatever provider you want, but there are fees underlying those funds. So that's one thing. The other thing is no one's really watching your back there, right? So your money is just kind of out doing its thing. We see this a lot where people are like, oh, and by the way, I have this other, it's not a lot. It's only like $100,000. Well, $100,000 that you could actually make hay with, right? And make it part of your portfolio, and get it kind of moving, tweaking it a little bit is not the worst idea, and find those assets. We've had people, who forget about assets that they've had, and that's a shame. That's why the state of Illinois has the lost property, where these companies, certain companies have gone out of business. The 401k is still out there. Make sure you know where your money is. My Lord, God forbid you die and you've never told your spouse or your children or whoever your beneficiaries are that, I worked for XYZ company when I was in my 20s, there's still some money sitting out there. It just goes to the state. And, we know how efficient the state of Illinois is with our money. So these are things to be aware of.
I have actually personally experienced several situations there, Tim. Two that come immediately to mind is one younger family member had a 401k. The company did transition it over to a trust fund of some type, and basically the fees whittled the money down to nothing. It was not invested. It was not doing anything. And it wasn't a heck of a lot of money to begin with, but it was something that, with the power of compounding, could have grown to even more. Instead, it was just termites eating away at it with the fees. And then two, I saw somebody that they found some money that they had lost track of, didn't realize they had, and finally received some notification. And again, it wasn't a huge amount, but for this particular situation, it really was life-changing for them. So bottom line, keep track of your money, know where it's at and what it's doing. And if you need the help of technology or of a planning partner, that's what you are there as a certified financial planning professional to help and assist with, is make sure that every dollar has a task, is being tracked, and we know what it's doing.
Right. I mean, it's a lot of people worry about risk of the market. Well, how about risking where your money is? So, I mean, consolidate so you're not paying fees, consolidate so you're taking less risk. These are all the things that we try to do with people. And the bottom line is, we'll keep it. We'll be the shepherd, and get you through it. But you need to make sure that we can help you get the money in a row, and your ducks in a row, so that you know exactly what you're working with when it comes to retirement.
And so, Tim, you're saying not always all about asset allocation. Sometimes it's about asset location that we need to be primarily concerned with.
That it's so true. And, a lot of people didn't care when the market was going up. And now you see a lot of people caring when the market's going down, where their assets are.
Isn't that the way it works?
They consolidate, right?
Yeah. Well, we need to be paying better attention, and that should be a goal for you, ladies and gentlemen, in the year ahead, because even when times are challenging, there are opportunities for proactive, efficient planners to take advantage and proactive moves that we can make to further our progress along. Having the plan is going to allow you the confidence to get through the year and the knowledge to identify those opportunities. And Tim Stearns, CFP, is here to help you with just that, with the Protect and Grow proprietary written retirement income allocation plan there from TJ Stearns Inc. give a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256 to take advantage of that opportunity. And it is the true value of the program, the power of applying the information that you hear about here on the show to your situation and understanding where each of these subjects and topics and opportunities apply to you is getting that plan put together. No cost, no obligation. Similar plans can go upwards of $1,000, several thousands of dollars. Give Tim Stearns, CFP, a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. So Tim, back once again to the passing of the Secure Act 2.0. Anytime there is sweeping legislation that specifically has to do with retirement requirements, retirement account provisions, probably a pretty good indicator that it's time to review, evaluate, and potentially update our plan, correct?
Yes, definitely. I mean, when they're changing things, we need to make sure that we're moving with the changes, right? The last thing you want to do is stay with the status quo. Maybe it is okay, but at least have the exercise of doing the looking underneath the rock that they just put in your way to see if there's something better we could be doing. And I'll fall on this again, is that, when I see that they're going to do the required minimum distribution stage 75, maybe I take some of my money, and start converting it under the Roth conversions for up till at the end of 2025 under the current tax laws. These are our opportunities that we have for the next 3 years that we needed to stay focused on.
Yeah.
I definitely think there's different ways to look at it. And now that we have a new Secure Act 2.0, and God knows when the next one will come, these are opportunities that we should be taking a hold of and making sure that it works for us.
Once again, there are changes in store for retirement. Starting in 2023, contribution limits have been increased. You can save a little bit more because the government recognizes that we need to be saving more to build for the most confident financial future. So those retirement savings plans at work, contributions up to $22,500. And if you're over 50, you've got an additional catch-up. That also has been increased to $7,500. You could potentially be saving $30,000 a year in your 401k or your Roth 401k or your 403b or most employer-sponsored retirement savings plans. Plus, in addition, any company match. Now, Tim, here's another common question we hear about the 401k, common mistake. A lot of people are under the assumption that if they choose those contributions to go to the Roth side of the 401k, that the company match will not be captured, that they will not get that company match. Can you address whether or not that is an accurate statement? If I choose Roth, does my company then still contribute for me or not?
They do. So if you choose a Roth 401k or 403b or what have you, and you're getting matched, it will continue exactly that same way. But it just comes over that the portion that you get from your company will still be, it'll be taxable when you take it out. So you'd have two components. You'd have your Roth, which will never be taxed again. And then the other flip side of that would be the taxable part that they're giving you. All right. But you'd still receive the match. The company, the reason why they're doing that is they want the write-off, right, as a company. So they're going to be able to write it off on their books, but then, but down the line, you will pay the taxes for them. There's nothing you can do about that. But that being said, it's free money. So why not take that, right? Yeah. I'll take the hit for free money, right? Yeah. So
nice enough to offer the match, not nice enough to pay your taxes on it for you. So even free money's got a little bit of a cost, hidden cost there, right? At the end of the
That's rainbow. Right. And there are companies where you can actually do some Roth conversions within your 401k. Allstate in this area does that. There's different companies, but I mean, a lot of, it's not like HR comes to you and says, hey, here's the different things we can do for you. That's kind of, out of sight, out of mind. They just, go about their day. So there are different ways, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. I would ask around because those are things, if you want to get ahead of, now is the time to do them under the current tax laws.
We've got some limited time opportunities, as Tim Stearns, CFP, has helped to point out and identify on this edition of the program. And we may be in one of the best opportunities ever to do proactive tax planning and management, ladies and gentlemen. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. It's not what you have in those retirement accounts. It's what you actually get to keep out of them. Taxes being the largest known expense standing in the middle and perhaps the most controllable if you are proactive, if you have that proprietary Protect and Grow written retirement income plan in place, available only there at TJ Stearns, Inc., with the help and assistance of Tim Stearns, CFP, and his planning team. If you would like to get that Protect and Grow written retirement income allocation plan, pick up the phone now. Give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And Tim, I'm sure we will continue to talk and hear more about the Secure Act 2.0. In fact, I think a lot of the people who passed it probably still have not fully understood what was in it. So we're still weeding through some of the minutia and the details to figure out what different provisions mean, but we'll keep savers and investors and proactive planners up to date.
We will. It's an ever-evolving landscape, right? So we need to make sure that we stay ahead of it, because people, you're going through your day and this isn't, basically your cup of tea. So we need to stay above and beyond it. I don't see a lot of companies educating their 401k participants. So we are happy to do that for people. We do a lot of work within our retirement classes, and now we're doing retirement classes for companies. So give us a call if you want to sign up for a class, or if you'd like us to do one for your company. We're happy to do that, because knowledge is going to be power for your employees and for yourself. We don't have pensions, most of us. How are we going to make that money last? How are we going to decumulate after all these years of working? These are all things that go baked into our retirement. We need to figure it out to do it the right way. You have one shot at it.
Pick up the phone, give Tim Stearns, CFP, a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. We need to have a plan in place to make the most progress possible and to identify those opportunities. At TJ Stearns, Inc., they help savers and investors formulate the plans to help you determine and achieve your financial and retirement goals, making sure that your money and your progress stays on track. 2023 could be an interesting, challenging year. Who knows what lies ahead? But having the plan in place will provide you with an additional level of financial confidence in making the necessary progress. Pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. As always, Tim, pleasure having you as the resource here on Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement.
It's my pleasure, Peter. Thank you.
Tune into Chicagoland Certified Financial Planner Tim Stearns' full radio program and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through Tj Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.